Barlette with Times Union and TimesUnion.com. And welcome to 20 Things Plus, where we catch up with somebody previously featured on the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. Today we are joined by Kumi Tucker. Kumi is the weekend evening anchor at WNYT, and she also reports during the week. And on a personal note, I have to say, I've done almost 220 things you don't know about me. And to this day, I still pick hers as my number one favorite. So no pressure, Kumi, but hello. I'm so excited to have you join us today. We're going to first update a couple of your original 20 things, learn a couple of new things, and then we'll play a game. So tell us a little bit more about that little doll, the little doll food, miniature doll food, the Dollhouse Food you have, right?
Yes, it's a really weird quirk. First of all, thank you very much for doing this today. It was really fun. And it was so much fun doing the original 23 things because I got to look back at my life and say, oh, look at all those interesting things that I did way back when. Although I'm already laughing because I feel like I'm going to say something inappropriate today somehow. But it's always fun talking with you. So the dollhouse thing is just a strange quirk that I have. And I still do collect miniature dollhouse food. But my father, when I was little, since I grew up in New York City in Manhattan in a smaller sized apartment, and he built in a bookshelf a duplex dollhouse in the bookshelf because we didn't have a lot of room. And so it was kind of fun because it looked like an apartment. So my daughter plays with that now, which is fun. So she gets to set up her stuff in there. And so that's a wonderful thing that we do get to do together now. And I've also discovered that Etsy sells a lot of miniature dollhouse food. So I feel that is also very going to be a very difficult thing for me. Do you see this little table?
Hard to resist, Etsy Duck. Oh my gosh.
You see this? It's a
little, is it cakes and pies on a little bakery table?
It is. And I think there's a little fruit here and there's a pie and it's all stuck together. I like when they're loose, but there's some bread at the bottom. I don't know why. It's really strange. And people ask me all the time, who they've read the 20 things, if my daughter gets to play with the miniature food. And I have to say no. I should say yes.
She gets to play with the dollhouse that your dad built, but she's not allowed to play with the little miniature
No,
food.
and the dollhouse furniture. She does. I said, of course you can play with it. Then she takes it out and I'll say, oh, no, hold on. No, that's really delicate. Don't touch it. So I know. I feel it's a weird compulsion and a quirk. I don't know what it is. I like to look at it and I like to look at it. It's very strange. I don't really know what to do with it.
Hey, you know what? I embrace quirky and odd. I think it makes people fun. What is the one piece of food you hope to find on Etsy or eBay or somewhere that would really help, whether complete your collection or boost your collection?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Sushi. I think that would be really fun. Someone once gave me some sushi and then I wrapped it up and put it in a drawer and I can't find it anywhere now. And so I'm on the hunt for sushi.
Imagine the chopsticks would probably be as tiny as, remember the little people in the Game of Life? That's how little I picture the chopsticks. Go with the miniature sushi.
And I want to see if it's like the nigiri sushi or the rolls. I'm very excited about looking at that. But I think you can find that on Etsy. So I'm on the hunt.
Very cool. All right. So the next one has to do with your name. I loved this because I remember you ended with this on your original 20 things. You explained what your name meant in Japanese and was basically like, so there's that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, it also means, depending on how you write it, in the Chinese, it's a Japanese name with Chinese characters. So it can also mean, so it means eternal beauty, of course. And then it also can mean profound poem, depending on how you write it. And I think you could also write it as 9 nuts, which is not the one that we, I guess, have chosen the characters. But so that is what it is. But then we got a dog, which is another one of my new things. But when we were naming the dog, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting and fun if we could pick a Japanese name for the dog? And so we went through a bunch of different names and I thought, well, that would be kind of fun. Is it something different? We were really having a hard time naming her. And just like my daughter, I mean, I think my daughter went through a couple of days where she had no name in the hospital and she was known as Baby Girl Tucker. Yeah. Which was not even her last name. So anyway, so we were naming the dog and I thought, what about Kiko? That's a cute name, Kiko. I think there's a Princess Kiko. And so we said, that's a beautiful name. We're going to use that as the dog's name. And then my daughter, who's 9, said, I love it. Kiko, 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 Kiko. I said, no, No, that's out now. It was so irritating when she said it so many times in a high-pitched voice. I said, we can't do it anymore. So now we named her Penny.
Well, that leads us right into your first new thing. Can you tell us a little bit more about your pandemic puppy? I know we saw the picture. She's a cutie. Tell us a little bit more about her.
Oh, my dog. So that's really cute. Everybody, I think a lot of people are looking for a pandemic puppy now because a lot of people are home, and so they have time to take care of the dog and spend real quality time with a puppy. When, as you know, a puppy is a lot of work. So we got lucky, and we found this puppy through a rescue group called Mountain Rottie Rescue. I'm not sure that she is Rottie. I've been told no, but she's definitely a mix, a Southern mix of, they call her a Heinz 57 special. So she's mixed with everything. And so she is a handful, but we were very lucky. We found this puppy. She was about 4 months old. And the thing about Mountain Rottie Rescue is that they are tough, which is good. But they vet everybody, and they also they rescue the dogs, and then they foster the dogs, and then the foster parent is very involved in this process and tells you exactly what the quirks of the dog are and how the dog acts and how the dog gets along with people or children, and so really knows a lot about the dog because they want to make that placement. And then you have to go through the test, and you have to go through the recommendations, and so they really put you through this tough process, which I like because I feel more secure in that, and it was really good. Then they have a home visit, they have to do an inspection, so so we really lucked out with the puppy. But we did sign up for obedience classes. Because that was one of the things that they recommended for a puppy, is that you go and get the class and learn how to do sit and leave it and things like that, as well as socialization. So we did, and it was a disaster. Now, the obedience classes were great, and the training person was wonderful, and she's so highly recommended, and everybody loves her, and I do too. So it's not the class or the instructor. It just so happens that when we arrived at this class, it was, first of all, she threw up in the car all the way there.
Oh, no.
And then when we got there, I don't know, she's very sweet at home and she's sweet with people, but she was that like drunk, sloppy girl at the party. She was
Oh, no, Penny.
embarrassing, and and me too. So she barked the whole way through the first class, just barked. She's not a barker. She barked through the whole class. And then I couldn't really hear what the instructor was saying, but she kept saying like, well, thank you, Penny, for illustrating my point. And I don't know what she said before that, but it wasn't flattering. So I was so embarrassed. I was trying to get the dog to stop barking. And then you go out for a little thing so you can go to the bathroom break before you come back and do more. And so we went out for a bathroom break, and she went to the bathroom quickly, and I thought that's a success. Then we came back out, and the first thing she does is come back in the middle of the room and have a huge poop in the middle of the room.
So is she
and then
full failure, or did she ever improve?
I mean, they say that they don't do it vindictively or as a statement, but I can't help but think that somehow she was just not having any of it. She was having a great time, but then it was even worse. It's not her fault. So if a dog does something wrong, we've been told it's not the dog's fault, it's the person's fault, and that's fine. But so it's not her fault, and everybody was very nice about it. But I'm red, and then the bags to pick up. Right. They don't open really well, and so I can't get it open, and so everyone's just standing around, and I'm trying to open it. I can't get it open. It was just, and then finally someone said, well, I'll do it, and they were very nice, and I felt bad. So after that, when I came home, I said, well, I'm not going to do that again. But we did go back again, and it's great. It's just that she did not distinguish hers. We did not, as a team, distinguish ourselves very well.
Did she do better the second? I mean, she had to do better the second time around.
Yes, I'm not sure she could have done much worse. But so she's I think it was really me that I didn't do so well, but it got progressively better for sure. But the first time, and I thought everyone else was so well behaved, and they all looked nice. They were all very, very kind. They had very well behaved puppies. I've never seen puppies so well behaved, and it was just mine rolling around like the Tasmanian devil. And then anybody else who had a toy, she took the toy. She was grabby and bossy, and I thought I've never even seen this dog before. So that was an experience, and the lessons were great. And I definitely will go back. I just, the first thing when I walked in, I thought I came back, I had a headache. I was looking for wine.
I was going to say you needed some wine. That sounds like quite the experience, although I'm sure it was all entertaining to everyone else.
I don't know. I don't know if it was. They were quietly polite, but that almost, I think they were trying to be nice to me, but nobody wanted to say anything. So at least they were nice about it, for sure.
To try to say Penny's the problem child, like take her to the office and let us continue here or something.
That's right.
Well, it sounds like she has a lot of personality, which I think is a huge plus in life. So that's a lot of fun. All right, so the next thing we're going on to, we just talked about how a lot of people got a pet during the pandemic. Another thing that most of us were doing was, keeping our distance, or should have been doing, keeping our distance, not seeing all our family as much as we wanted to. And I know you did that with your parents, but you did make it work for your mom's birthday, right?
That's right. So just like many people, as you said, we haven't been able to see them in a long time. And I'm very close with my parents, and we speak every day, at least once a day. And so not seeing them was very difficult, but it was also really difficult more for my parents, because they really love my daughter. And I think they really wanted to see her. And as you know, at a certain point, you just become sort of like the useless middle peg there. And it's the grandparents and the grandchildren, and that's what they really focus on. And so, but then my mom's birthday was coming up, and it was a big one, and we didn't want to miss it. And my father sent me an email and said, please don't come. Your mother is worried that you might be coming, and she doesn't want that, because she said it's going to be heartbreaking. And I think that she was envisioning more of a, I put the hand on the window and she puts the hand on the window, or my daughter puts the hand on the window more likely, and they cry. And so we said, well, we're going anyway. So we disregarded their wishes. And then we packed everything up and went to go visit them. And we pull up, and my daughter gets out of the car and she's waving, and my mother comes out, and you can hear her, and I have video of it, but she's screaming and screams my daughter's name repeatedly, never mentions anybody else who's there. So at some point I'm wondering if she thought, how did my daughter get there? Did my daughter drive herself there? But we set up a whole picnic outside. And so it was a whole day that we spent outside. So it was better. So we were very far apart, but we brought the cake and the presents, and we were lucky because it was in May. So we were able to do that. But of course, now we can't really visit we can't visit at all because it's so cold. We can't do it outside, but it was wonderful to see her after several months. It was a wonderful time to see her. And I'm really happy we were able to make that happen.
And I'm sure she was happy that you did not listen to her and stay home.
Yes. Well, she was mad at first, but then it was just to have a long picnic like that, and to be able to catch up, even though we weren't able to hug and we really weren't close to each other. It's not really worth for us. It's not worth the risk at all, but it was nice to be able to spend the whole day together. And I think that was an important thing to mark for her birthday.
Very cool. That's nice. It is nice to hear how different families are kind of making, special days, holidays work, where they're keeping everybody safe, but they're also able to spend some time together in person, because that is so important. It's good for your mental health too. So that's nice to hear. All right, so your next one has been about your family spending time together at home and doing a little binge watching. What have you been checking out?
Oh, well, I think a lot of people are watching different shows. And of course, we've gone through Princess Sophia, and I can't even think of some of the other ones, Spirit. It's weird that I know and I'm sure you do too, the theme songs to all of these.
Gosh, yes.
And then I find myself humming them during the day, which is also sad. But we have been watching Cheers, which is a real throwback. You're too young for that, I think.
Oh, but I remember Cheers. My parents loved Cheers, but I also saw Cheers.
Oh, yes?
Yes, very much so. With is her name Carla, or Carla, right? With the
Carla and Sam and Diane, of course. So we're starting to watch that now, and it may not be appropriate for a 9-year-old, but what she doesn't understand, she laughs through anyway, and it's great. And then sometimes, though, looking at Cheers, and it's so funny because I thought that it wasn't going to hold up because it is old. I don't know when it was made, but it's and now we're also seeing Ted Danson, who is in Cheers, and he's in all these new shows.
I was
And
gonna say, in that Mayor show or whatever it is, that I think it's called The Mayor or something like that.
I think yes, and but whenever we see promos for it, it just blows my daughter's mind that this is the same guy that we're watching on Cheers. She's like, no, that's not. This is son. I said, no, it's him. He just grew older. But Cheers, it does hold up, and they have moments where it's a man talking about his son coming out and how he's loves his son unconditionally. And a lot of the moments there, I think, were ahead of their time in speaking openly about, loving your family, no matter what, who they are or who they love. And it was really beautiful. And then there are a couple of lines in there where I'm crying. My daughter says, why are you crying? It's just, I think the writing is really strong, and it's great for me to watch. It's very nostalgic for me, but my daughter really enjoys it in her first time around. So it's kind of fun that we get to share that together.
I was gonna say, it is fun when, like you said, your daughter plays with some of your toys from when you were little. It's always fun when we can share those things with our kids and see that they get enjoyment out of it just like we did. I just feel like it's a bonding experience like nothing else.
It is. It's so much fun to be able to share that with her. And I just think that growing up, I hope that she has fond memories of watching some of these shows with her family and laughing together. I hope that that's what she remembers.
Kumi, thank you so much for joining us for this. But before we let you go, we're going to play a little game to try to guess who will be featured as the 20 Things You Don't Know About Me on Monday. So that means it's somebody who we haven't written about previously for this feature. I'm going to give you a couple of clues. People who are watching can also take a guess. They can tweet me at JustKristi, tweet at Times Union, or comment on this video on the Times Union's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. So I'm going to give you 3 clues. Ready?
Right.
I interned with Elvis Duran and The Morning Show. That's very important. The industry in which she interned. I have an Instagram page where I experiment with fun cocktails called Libby's Libations. This started during quarantine. I tried to make cocktails using only things I already had in the house, but now I just make everything. And this last one's probably not going to help, but I just had to include it because I think it's funny and I thought you would appreciate it. I can lick my elbow.
Oh, I know who it is now.
They say it's impossible. I say it's not. But doesn't it make you want to try to lick your elbow? Because it made me want to try to lick my elbow.
Well, I'm not going to do it now. I'm resisting the urge to do it right now. So I feel like that has a lot. This is probably not. I really want to do it though, but I'm not going to try. I can't think. It has to be a Libby, right? Libby's Libations. It has to be a Libby.
Yep, and she interned with Elvis Duran in the Morning Show, which is a syndicated radio show out of New York City.
Is it Libby Post? No. Is there a Libby Post? Yes.
I think. Well, there is a Libby Post.
Yes, right?
Yes, but she's not on radio.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm stuck.
In Albany, but she's not on radio.
Well, now I'm going to be listening to Libby, and I'm only going to be thinking about her licking her elbow.
I know, and like I said, I'm totally trying this when the video's over, and I've already But okay, well, I'm not going to tell you because the goal is for people to guess. But
no!
Yes.
All right.
Google Libby and radio in Albany, and it'll come up.
I should be doing that now, but you'll notice.
Cheating on the side, like when people are doing contests and you can't see what they're doing. But it'll be live on timesunion.com starting at 7 a.m. Monday, and people can find out who is Libby of Libby's Libations.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Kumi.
Well, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.